I become one with the mud.
But if I can swim after 40 days and my mind is crushed by the crashing waves that be up so high that I cannot fall and be alone.
Welcome back to the weatherchannel.fm. You're listening to Jars of Clay Flood. So, it's been raining for 40 days now.
Right.
It's literally become a biblical flood. The water is all... Basically, the entire Earth is now nuclear ocean.
Water world.
Yes, it's water world. It's become the blood ocean from Death Clock, from Metalocalypse.
Yes.
We are living in the blood ocean. It's nuclear. I have eaten quite a lot of flesh. I am literally a god now.
Weren't you a god last episode?
I've taken the name Neptune. Well, I was turning into a god because I was eating
that was
nuclear
metamorphosis.
human flesh.
Okay.
Yes. So I am Neptune now. I have acquired all the powers of Neptune because I've been eating whales. And
Right.
humanoid whales that have been... I've been eating whales that have consumed so much nuclear human flesh that they have become humanoid whales. And I have been eating those.
Yes.
It's quite the, cyclical
There's a lot more meat on
insanity.
a whale.
Yes. I am Neptune. I look kind of like the Zora King from Ocarina of Time, but like 10 times as large.
So,
I've become quite the character.
You're like Dagon.
Dagon?
Yeah.
Who's Dagon?
That's a H.P. Lovecraft.
Oh, okay.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like
Whoever that is.
He's like the god of, like the god that
Dagon
people
Blues.
follow.
Yes. Anywho, I've become quite large.
Harry Potter, Dagon Alley.
Hope is still the same. She wasn't really about eating people. She's basically what is a nuclear future equivalent of a vegan.
Yeah.
So she's quite small. I like it. It's nice. My cock is literally 3 times her entire body size, so we can't really do anything like sexual in that way. But
like you can pick me up and put me on your shoulder.
Yeah,
That's cool.
We hang out. It's pretty nice. I mean, there's no other guys, so it's not like I have to be jealous of anyone.
There's no alternatives.
Yes, there's no alternatives because everyone else is a mutant fish frog. But it's gotten
Not
pretty good.
Fishman.
So that's today's forecast. It looks like it's going to be raining for another century or so. And is that lightning?
No.
Oh, God forbid there were a fucking storm outside.
There's no
Anywho.
lightning. What's wrong with you?
So that's the weather. Back to you, Hope.
Waiting for
What's
the
going on?
bus in the rain.
Waiting for the bus in the rain.
Did you ever listen to that episode of Night Vale? We're gonna loop it
No,
back
I told
into
you I
Night
only
Vale.
watched 2
That was like
episodes of Night Vale.
one of the few good episodes of
I don't
the weather.
remember literally anything that happened.
Because the Night Vale's gimmick was that they would go to the weather, but the weather was always like a random weird spooky song.
I see. That's
And
pretty
that was
good.
one of them, was just waiting for the bus in the rain. I remember that one very distinctly.
Nice.
I don't remember many of the weather, but I remember
Yeah.
waiting for the bus in the rain. It was cool. I liked that
Anywho,
song.
I think I have more to rant on about the toxicity of cousins.
A lot of toxicity.
Because I'm still so baffled that any story like that in regards to like something that happens to a kid, it's always blamed on the parents, and no one ever thinks about the siblings or the cousins or the aunts and uncles or anyone else in this
Any
kid's life
outside
that could have
influence.
exposed them to something awful. And it's like, I feel like I can, like, the train of everything that happened in me and Conrad's life began with our oldest cousin and trickled down.
Right.
Like, we had a cousin who was a teenager when we were little kids, and, like, I distinctly remember, like, the time when he was putting on porn in our house because our parents had gone to the store or something, and he had, like, put on...
I got 15 minutes, let's
He
go.
found this porn DVD, and he put it in, he was watching that, and, like, he was frantically trying to put it away as the parents came home and stuff, and we were just, like, dicking around. We didn't know what the fuck was going on. He showed us Ninja Scroll, like, that was the dawn of our knowing of anime, was because our oldest cousin exposed us to, like, hyper-violent, crazy shit. We've talked about it on Digibros a lot,
Yes. This is a known story.
Our older cousin, Boyd... He was the reason why me and Conrad found our dad's porn magazines and went through that whole thing. He
We've
was
told
the
that
instigator.
story,
We would have never found that without him,
Right.
And it's just like the cousins, You know, he was seeking approval from the oldest cousin. Conrad was seeking approval from Boyd. I was seeking approval from Conrad, and it was this trickle down of fucking cousin economics. And, like, that's how this shit happens. And it's so clear, you know? I don't know if you had any cousin exposure that led to stuff like that.
Well,
But like, kids learn from older kids, and it all is just this big fucking cycle, and it's been that way forever, and I don't understand how people don't get it, you know?
I think for me it's a little bit different because growing up, I only had I only had 2 groups of cousins, and the first group was 2 or 3 years older than me, and they wanted nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
We did not hang out
See,
at
that
all.
helped.
I had no, no exposure there. And then my other group of cousins, all of them but one was younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more like I was especially bonded with one of them, my cousin CJ, who you've met.
Yes.
He and I were super close, and it was kind of like us against them most of the time
cousins.
because they would try to pick on CJ, and I was not like I wasn't about to let that shit happen.
Yeah.
So it was very much just like me and CJ, but we were both so on the same page that neither of us really had any influences that the other didn't already know about. So it was really just like a feedback loop as far as that goes. Though I did, my older cousin on that side that I was talking about where it was everyone else was younger but him, I do have one distinct memory of something that he didn't intentionally do this, but it could be that this may have been the moment that defined starting me as a horror fanatic.
Uh-huh.
Because I distinctly remember a time when I went over to my uncle's house, and I think I must have been 6 or 7, and my older cousin was probably 15 or 16.
Yeah.
And I was fucking around with my younger cousins, and we were playing around, and we wandered into my older cousin's room.
Oh, no.
And he was playing the game Parasite Eve.
Oh, shit.
And I don't know if anyone out there knows about
So he was
Parasite
like a patrician
Eve.
at the time.
He was, which is really ironic because he grew up to be a pastor, but whatever. But he was playing Parasite Eve, and as we wandered in, the cutscene played where it's the main character is in a sewer and there's rats running around, and the cutscene focuses in on one rat, and the rat's skin like peels backwards off of its body, and it morphs into this giant monster, and I was like,
look at that.
oh my god, that's amazing! I was like horrified, but I was so intrigued. And I feel like that's the first real piece of horror that I ever
Look, I got an
saw.
updraft that led me all the way to the top of the mountain.
Hey, you
what the
did it.
fuck? That's crazy.
So
No
that's
idea that was there.
That's a possibly negative influence one of my cousins had on me.
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't
Well,
be a
it's-
grown woman with a Junji Ito tattoo if I hadn't seen that
Yeah.
growing up.
And it's those interesting things where, like, early childhood stuff snowballs into, like, defining your entire life, you know?
It's very
Like,
interesting.
My entire life, I always had one singular friend, you know, just like you, and it's like that first friend in kindergarten and being ostracized for having that friend, like, that defined my entire life. And, like, the exposure to porn through my cousins defined my entire life. That it started
you
my
had
guilt
porn
complexes,
exposure,
you
and
know?
I had horror exposure.
Our exposure to anime, that defined our entire life.
that's
And
it.
Pokemon. Our oldest cousin introduced us to Pokemon, introduced us to Zelda, and gave us our first N64. Like,
That's right.
our entire life was changed by that guy's passive influence, you know?
Yeah.
Because
it is
he
interesting
trickled
what
down his
passive
interest.
influence it was.
Because we were given an N64, you know, we played it hanging out with our cousin, we loved it, he gave it to us, you know? It's crazy. And then we were defined by video games our whole life. And I think he first had Pokemon and all that too. I know we watched Pokemon with him the first time. Like, everything came from our oldest cousin and trickled down. I know, like, my dynamics of fucking... Like, I think about the people who bullied me the most my entire life were Conrad and Boyd.
Right.
And, like, it's that, like, Connor and Boyd were close friends, and then, like, you're not going to pick on Shade, because he's so little that he was, like, way smaller than them.
Yeah.
But I was like the emotional kid who was low-hanging fruit and easy to make fun of, and I would get super upset. So they would make fun of me all the time. I get upset. I take it out on Shade, you know? Me and Shade's relationship is bad until we're fucking adults, you know?
Right.
Like, me and Shade had a... Like, I've always really loved Shade, but he was another one of those people where it's hard to express that to him, because most of the time we're just fighting, you know?
Right.
And then what were we fighting over? Video games, always.
Yeah,
because
that's
you
all
know
that
I
matters.
had early exposure. I was obsessed with video games. I had the video game. Shade didn't have the video game. Shade wanted to play the games that I was playing because I'm his older brother and he wants to do what I'm doing. Like the kid is always influenced by the older kid, you know, and that defines their life to a certain extent. It's very interesting. Look at the childhood things that happen in your childhood that just fucking. Comment something that happened in your childhood that really kind of like looking back on
That
it defines
actually
your
formed
entire
you.
life, you know? The things that formed you, that inadvertently formed you. You might not realize it until you're an adult, you know? Until you look back on it and go like, holy shit, like that really had an influence on my entire life.
The Parasite Eve thing I actually didn't remember until like earlier this year when I happened to see someone's review of Parasite Eve on YouTube, and I was like, Parasite Eve, oh my fucking god, and I like, it all came back to me and I was like, Jesus, that's what made me the person I am today. Watching that rat get ripped inside out and become a monster.
Incredible. I'm distracted by like what the fuck is happening. I'm thinking I'm having like a shield surfing race.
I think so.
Oh Jesus. I don't feel like I did this before.
Uh-oh.
Looks like fun. How do I shield surf again?
I don't fucking remember.
Like I have to like jump and like
There's it's like
there
one
we
of the
go.
triggers.
Yeah.
Right? Boy.
If I could read 40 days.
Rolling around at the speed of sound.
Yeah.
Your places to go.
God,
Gotta
where am I
shield surf
going?
my rainbow.
Yeah. I'm not sure where I'm going.
Do an ollie. Do a kick.
Oh shit,
Whoops.
fuck. How did I do that? Fuck. How did I do it?
Oh man. We are super good
There we go.
at this
Fuck.
game.
Oh, it's counting up. Huh. Mm-hmm. How fast am I supposed to do it?
I don't know.
It was weird. Anyways, yeah, I was ranting about cousins. I guess that's all I had to say.
We really should have
It's
started this
frustrating.
episode
Oh, I can
with
go
the
faster
Vampire
too,
Weekend
shit.
song "Cousins."
True.
That would have been the
I don't
most
know
appropriate.
this song.
Yes, you do. You definitely know
Do
that
I?
song.
How's it go?
It's like me and my cousins and you and your cousins. I know you've heard it in my car.
I'm sure I have.
There's just
I'm
no
just
way
gonna-
you
I'm
haven't
gonna check
heard
the
Vampire
recording
Weekend.
again. Make sure we're recording.
Vampire Weekend is Victor's favorite band, by the way.
Yes, I love Vampire Weekend. I'm obsessed with them. Clearly.
Yes.
I'm very excited about Vampire Weekend.
Victor loves Vampire Weekend. This is my favorite meme.
They're so almost tolerable.
Victor loves Vampire Weekend. We already talked
Anyways,
about that.
topic, yeah. It's gonna...
Okay. So
I mean, I'm
Victor,
starting to get lost.
two weeks ago now, we went and saw a cool movie. Do you remember what this was?
I don't. Oh, was it Walk On?
We went to see The Night is Short. Walk On, girl.
Yeah, Walking Girl.
It was super good.
Dead Girl Walking.
Dead girl walking. Yes.
It was pretty good.
Do a kickflip. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Oops.
fuck. That did damage.
That wasn't good.
That was a lot of
Just
damage.
kidding. Yeah. But no, it was a super good movie. It's a kind of movie you watch and you're reminded of the fact that like drinking can be super fun.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh,
It makes you want to go out and
man,
drink.
I want to go drink. And we
Yeah.
did a couple days later.
Yeah.
It was
like
great.
a week later, but yeah.
It wasn't too. Was
It was like a week later.
Yeah, it was
dude.
like
it was
a
at
week
least
later.
a week later. But we did go out and drink, and it was fun. We went and we Hope's friend came and we went and got food. We went in California Pizza Kitchen, and then we got drinks.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's get tipsy and walk around the mall. And then we
Because
did.
we're 15.
We went to GameStop and we played with stupid toys. Do your worst.
Now she's gonna race and see if she can beat you.
Okay. So she was letting me test it, and now we're gonna race. Shield surfing is life.
life.
All right. Fuck yeah, dude.
You gotta shred, brother.
Okay. This has been quite distracting.
Indeed. But no, it was really, really good. It's like a lot of different smaller stories within a bigger story.
Yeah, it's
But it
four
also has an
stories.
overarching theme that was really good. It's the kind of movie where, like, by the end, you're like, oh my god, I'm
Yes.
having profound thoughts.
It
'Cause
feels
that's
like you're
Masaki
on
Yuasa.
an adventure that lasts forever.
There,
Because the structure of the story is not a traditional 3-act structure because it's 4 stories combined.
Right.
So it feels like you've been watching it for an eternity.
Correct.
And the payoff is incredible.
the payoff is amazing. It's so
Which is a
good.
great kind of... I love movies that don't follow the traditional 3-act structure, you know?
Right.
Which a lot of people will, you know, complain about pacing in those kinds of movies. And it's like, but why have we limited the movie to one kind of story structure, you know? Like the American... Like in screenwriting... Every story writing class we ever take, it's like a 3-act structure. You have to have a 3-act structure. It has to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. It has to be this structure, and that's how you make a perfect movie. And it's like, but what if you didn't, you know?
Right.
What if you came at it like, yes, it would look worse in comparison to a normal movie, but like, why can't you come at it from a totally different angle? And the Japanese are willing to do that. A lot of old Japanese movies do that, where it's like, there's really no fucking structure to this at all. It's just like a meandering mess. And like, it can feel like it's a million years long because it's not pulling you through it. But like, what's wrong with that, you know?
Right.
It's just a different way to approach a movie.
Exactly.
It's the
There's
best.
some really great fucking comedy in there, man. It's so good. Like the whole, like, what was it, the third story, the one with the fucking tonkatsu that was traveling around,
Yeah.
and the stage play.
I guess this is one we shouldn't recap and spoil.
No, I'm
Everyone
not
should
gonna
just
recap
really,
it.
really go watch that movie.
But you
'cause
really
it's
should.
cool.
If
you're a
it'll make you
Masaki
think
Yuasa
about
fan,
your
if
life.
you're not
It'll
a
make you
Masaki
fucking
Yuasa
laugh. It's great. It's super good. Is
Pretty
he not
damn
wearing
great.
pants?
I'm wearing barbarian pants.
I was like, are those Link's thighs?
Look,
What's
Link
happening?
Link is pretty gender fluid in this game.
He
Okay,
really is. I was like,
he's pretty
interesting.
metro. He doesn't. Ooh, a shrine under a rock. Cool. Now
Definitely
I'm a
worth
shield surfing guru. I'm
paying
obsessed.
$13 to see.
Yes, it was quite good. Quite expensive and quite great.
It's not even. It costs us more money to see the fucking Sword Art Online movie.
True.
It was $15 to see
Fuck
that shit.
movie.
Whereas this movie was 13 or 12, something
Yeah.
like that. Either way, I would have paid $15 to see it. I would have paid $20 to see it.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's,
gotta buy the
I knew
Blu-ray.
it was going to be good.
It's a lot of fun, and it'll be even better on a second watch too.
Yeah,
That's
I
like
think
the
it
joy
will.
of Masaki Yuasa is that there's so many layers, so many details that you're gonna enjoy it more than once. You should really rewatch Tatami Galaxy.
I'm really pissed there's no home release of Tatami Galaxy.
God, is there?
There's not.
Wow.
Funimation has it, and they won't release
It's because
it.
Funimation is the worst company ever made, and they deserve to die. Fuck Funimation.
It's very true. Funimation released
Fuck
Tatami
'em.
Galaxy on Blu-ray, you fucks!
Like what the fuck? It's like super, you know.
People would buy the shit
It's
out
a
of Tatami
masterwork.
Galaxy
Like
on
how
Blu-ray.
people would buy the fuck out of it. Yeah.
What I'm really, like, impressed, like, I'm amazed because, fucking Uchoten Kazoku has a home release in America,
Yeah.
and Tatami Galaxy
And it's season
doesn't.
2.
Yeah, we don't talk about
Fuck.
season 2 in this house.
True.
We only talk about season 1 because it was perfect and flawless
Yes.
and beautiful,
Another
and I
one of
own
those
it.
things. It's so frustrating. We've talked about this before about how they did surveys at Otakon on what kind of shows they should
PA
do.
works.
PA
Come on
works.
now.
And then we put on there like explicitly like we want more shows like Ucho Tenkazoku.
Like it. Not a sequel.
Yes.
Like it.
We wanted shows like Ucho Tenkazoku, and they immediately, one season later, Ucho Tenkazoku season 2, and it's like, is this gonna be good? And then it
Spoiler
wasn't
alert,
good.
no. It's not.
It's like, why did you
because
do
you
that?
told
you just
a
thought
complete
we wanted that?
story and
Yeah.
it's done. Stop it. Just stop it.
And it's clear that like it's been a long time and you guys don't really know what you're doing anymore. Like you're not on the same wavelength. Whoa, secret thing.
It's
Ooh,
really a shame.
a secret block.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I gotta put this on top of that. Ah, ancient
Wow.
Chinese secret.
So enlightening.
Is that from Jackie Chan?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember. Ancient Chinese secret's been such an essential
It's
part of my
been
vocabulary.
so inundated into your life. I don't know that. I don't know.
Ancient Chinese secret.
I think did Uncle
Perfect
not
timing.
say that?
I'm sure he did. That's why I'm
I
assuming it's from
I
Jackie
could be
Chan
completely
Adventures.
wrong, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Shit.
that's what that is.
Oh yeah, well, that was a good movie.
Yes. That being said, highly recommended. We won't recap it for you because you should go see it, and
Yeah.
then you should buy it on Blu-ray.
Buy it on Blu-ray. Yes.
Yes. If it releases in a theater near you, which it
Yes.
might not. I don't know.
Ancient Chinese.
I don't know
secret.
where you live. I don't know what's going on in your, general vicinity.
Yeah. What else is going on? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Yeah. What are we doing?
All I'm doing is fucking working.
We are finding something to do while the world is in a nuclear hellstorm
Yeah.
of a liquidy hellstorm. We're doing a Rowdy Fuckers Cop Killers thing now. Now Vic and Hope has an extended universe that we're going to elaborate on at the top of every show instead of a radio bit. We're still going to do radio bits, but the radio bits are going to be in the context of our own post-apocalyptic world. It's not Rowdy Fuckers Cop Killers. This is an original idea.
TM.
This totally isn't what Munchie and Ben do all the time. This is our own thing. We came up with this. No one's ever thought about doing
This
this
is an
before.
original idea.
But anyways, yeah, so everything we do is happening within the context of an alternate
This is not
reality.
Going to succeed.
I don't know, I'm doing this wrong. I gotta be patient and pay
Yeah,
attention.
I was gonna say you didn't time that well at all.
Okay. So yes, you're getting a job at a nuclear reactor factory
Yes.
where you're doing medical things.
Yeah.
We don't have to stick to that
I
narrative.
inject the radioactive waste directly into your heart
Yeah.
using my ultrasound technology.
Go!
Yeah!
Motherfucker!
God fucking damn it.
Why? I put the thing in the way!
Oh.
Why did it not go in?
Oh man, that was tragic.
You piece of shit.
That was just
What am I
fucking
even doing? Why am I...
tragic.
Okay, watch this. I thought of a secret hack to beat this level.
Life hack.
I'm just gonna fucking walk it over there. What am I doing? Why am I trying to blow it on the fence? I could literally just walk over there holding the thing.
Oh man. Yeah.
What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. That probably
Why did I
was
do this?
the better idea.
I was gonna walk over here.
I think you're supposed to just lift that block over there to get the treasure chest.
Oh yeah, probably. Oh no, I could just magnet that down.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just magnet it, just pull it on out.
Just pull them on down.
Oh, it's because I have to be on. I have to stand on that when it
Oh
lifts
yeah,
up.
it's the same
Okay.
gimmick as the other place.
Oh. Great.
Well, how?
Oh, I'll show you. I just gotta get on top of that. Here, we'll figure it out.
Oh no, I'm not asking like
Oh.
how you're supposed to be over there. I'm
Oh.
asking how you're supposed to make sure it doesn't do what it did before and deflect from the wrong spot.
So I'm just gonna drop it from there.
Yeah?
And I gotta get up there fast enough.
Yeah?
I could do it if I can get up there fast.
It's alright, I believe in you.
Okay.
I know that you can do it. You're a
You're a
strong, tough
drop
boy.
him. Damn it, fuck. God damn it. This is
Victory.
how it's gonna happen. We're gonna do it. We're gonna drop it here.
And do it, and do it, and do it,
And do it, and do it, and do it, and do it, do it, do it,
And do
and do it, and do it, and do it, and do it, and do it,
Oh,
and do
got
it,
him,
and do
nice.
it, and do it. Fill up my cup!
Great!
Mazel tov! I got that money! Let's kick it
Oh!
up!
Nice. Fuck.
Anywho, what were you saying?
Got him. I was gonna say, so Victor, the other day we finished watching the Netflix original series Disenchantment. What do you
Hey.
think about that?
I don't know. What do I think about that? What is there to say that isn't obvious? Anyone who is like hype about it is retarded. Like,
Sorry.
it's
Sorry
No,
if
that's-
you if
it's-
you were hyped.
it's another story of like it's been like 15 years since Futurama, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and anyone who's watched all of Futurama knows how the writing quality declined over the course of 15 years or something. Like, you can see it there. Like, you know how it's gone.
Yeah.
It's not a surprise that the show isn't as good as Futurama. Like, I wouldn't expect it to be. I don't think it was a bad show or anything. It was okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's valid criticisms of it.
think,
It did certain things really well. By the end, it definitely pulled around, and I think it was overall okay.
I think it got slammed a little unfairly.
Because
as
people
far
had high
as the
expectations, you know?
reviews.
Like, people will dog on it because it's the Futurama guy, you know, because it was supposed to be this big deal. And it's like, well, it shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
It should not have been a big deal. Like, they just wanted to make an original cartoon, and as an original comedy cartoon, it's pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
in 2018, compared to the rest of the things on Netflix, like, it's pretty good. It's pretty refreshing. It's pretty new, you know?
Yeah.
Now, it does really,
I mean, there's
like...
problems, definitely.
When you've got people that have been writing certain shows for 30 years, like, the humor's gonna be really repetitive of what they've done before, you know?
Right.
Like, it's a natural fact. You shouldn't expect more than that. Like, if you were expecting more than that, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Don't know what to say, sorry.
Like, of course.
Right. And I mean, definitely, there's, you know, inconsistent characters like
Yeah.
Elfo. And, like, the character Eric Andre plays is, like, nothing that special.
Yeah.
Like, it's not his best work.
He's
or
a worse
anything.
version of, like, Jake and Bender. Like, if you took
Well,
Jake the dog and mix it with Bender the robot,
The
that
thing
is what the
is,
devil guy is.
I really just feel like that character is the same character as what he played in Man-Seeking Woman.
Kind of.
The best friend, who
But
was
the best
always
friend-
like up to shit and like
But, like, that
messing
character
things
was
up.
really good.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I mean. It's a worse character.
Yeah.
It's a worse version of that character.
Yeah.
Sorry if you haven't seen Man-Seeking Woman, but you should really watch
Everyone,
it if you
God,
haven't.
Man-Seeking Woman is
So
such
good.
a fucking
It's
classic.
the best.
I always forget about it.
FX
when I'm
really
talking
does
about
have some
things. FX is
bangers
really
if you
good.
think about
Yeah.
it. They have Atlanta, they have Man-Seeking Woman.
Because they're willing to take big risks because it doesn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah. It's like,
I don't know.
they're like, whatever.
FX is great.
FX has some fucking bangers.
But fucking, like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so, I had more to say when we had recently watched it, but, like,
Yeah, I just didn't get to bring it up.
I do think
last
it's
session.
overall good. My criticisms of it are mostly that, like, it focuses so much on the main character and her life that it really doesn't, like, it doesn't start to flesh out the other characters till really deep in.
Yeah.
So, like, the first few episodes, you're really kind of like, well, I don't care.
You don't really,
you know?
yeah, you're not invested.
The main girl is such a fucking stereotype that it's like, you don't really feel much for her. Like, it's not an original idea. Like, strong-willed fantasy girl, you know, in a generic fantasy world where she is the one and she doesn't want to marry guy or whatever. It's like, this is not new. This is really derivative. And they didn't really present it in a new way, you know?
Yeah,
And it
I mean,
kinda,
the,
like-
the twist is that she's an alcoholic.
Yeah, and it's like, that's not
Okay.
new. Like, plenty of adult cartoons have had alcoholic main characters, and it doesn't feel original enough, you know? And then it kind of picks up towards the end and has some nice little twists and some nice little, like, you know, the Futurama guys are always good at, like, pulling the emotional stuff out and, like, letting it get serious while still entertaining and stuff. And I think it has a lot of potential to grow in season 2 once you've gotten used to everything
Now
and, like,
that
they
everybody
introduce
is
more guys.
established, yeah.
Like, there just wasn't enough of a cast. And, like, Futurama's kind of the same, where it's like you can build a cast over time, but, like, the cast has to be interesting enough and play off of each other enough to, like, motivate things. Like, main girl and Elfo don't have enough of contrasting personalities to really be interesting.
Right.
Like, they don't play off of each other super well.
Because
Elfo's
Elfo
really
isn't
annoying
really
and
much of a
inconsistent,
anything.
yeah.
He just does whatever
Like, when you
that
have,
everybody else is doing.
like-
He's just there.
Yeah. Fry and Leela really played off of each other well. And it made sense, like, they both, like, Elfo is the same as Fry in terms of being a fish out of water character. Like, he lived in Elfland forever. Fry lived in fucking, you know, he came to the future.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense. He's a fish out of water. Elfo's a fish out of water. They're almost the same character, except
They're very
Elfo is
close.
faster to be kind of retarded. I don't know. Like, they're both very
Yeah.
similar in that they're both stupid, lovable idiots who, like, are situationally
don't-
smart, you know?
I don't find Elfo to be charming at all.
Yeah,
is the
he's
problem.
just not. He sucks. He's not charming. He's ugly and dumb. Like, and he feels like a sidekick.
Yeah.
Where, like, he doesn't feel like he carries his weight as a second main character. He just
Right.
feels like a a comic relief guy, and the main girl's supposed to carry it. But then, like, she's not enough of a contrasting personality to Elfo.
Right. There's not... Yeah.
And they try to do, like, the weird love angle thing.
That
It's like,
I found
that's
super weird. I was
yeah.
like, am I really supposed to, like, buy this?
It doesn't really work. It's like he only really cares about her because she is a girl who is near him. But then it's weird with his personality. I don't know. It doesn't...
Yeah. It doesn't really make
strange.
any sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially because when, in the first episode, meeting Elfo, he's, like, kind of cynical, and he knows that, like, Elfland is kind of bullshit because they're only feeling positive
they
emotions.
introduce him as a cynical character.
And he wants to feel all the range of emotions, including the negative ones. And then as soon as he gets out into the outside world, he's like this oblivious, happy-go-lucky
he's a
dipshit.
dipshit goofball. And it's like, okay,
And you're like,
so
what?
he's not cynical at all?
Where did you
like,
come from?
why was he the cynical one? It's bizarre.
And it's established, like, in Elfland, like, this guy fucks.
Yeah,
You know?
he fucks. He's literally fucking a girl at the very beginning.
And then, like, later in the show, it's like, he doesn't fuck? You're like, okay.
Yeah, and then he's like the virgin loser the whole time. And it's like he doesn't work for that archetype because you established him as a guy who fucks. It doesn't make any sense.
It's very strange. I don't know what made them take that turn.
Super inconsistent with Elfo.
Yeah.
Not the best character.
No, he's really not.
The main girl's pretty one note. The dad character is kind of like they try to make him the twist interesting guy, you know, where it's like, oh, he's supposed to be the one who actually had the secret depth the whole time.
Right.
But it doesn't really have anything really unique and new to say.
Yeah.
It's just ultimately not super original and interesting, and kind of it feels like it could have cooked for a little longer, you know?
A little half-baked, as they say.
Half-baked. But promising future for it,
Yeah,
I'd say.
no, I definitely think there's room to improve.
Yeah.
I don't
Because,
think
like, they
it's
instantly
hopeless.
at the end of season 1 kind of throw everything out and, like, have a kind of a shift. And so it's like, okay, it's very interesting to have an actual sort of dynamic shift this early into a show, you know?
Assuming it isn't completely reset
Yeah.
at the
I'm sure it will be
conclusion of the first
reset, yeah,
episode of season
over
2.
time. It could be like Rick and Morty, where it's just they realize they wrote themselves into a hole. Did we talk about Rick and
We
Morty? I
did
think we did.
talk
Yeah.
about Rick and Morty.
Got Dan Harmon's ability to write himself into a hole and then have to backtrack.
But you know, Disenchantment at least is distinctly less frustrating than another Netflix original show that we recently watched.
What was that?
Voltron!
God,
Voltron is
So
the most
disappointing.
frustrating show to me
yes.
because it has so much potential. And I remember it being good in certain parts, but it just keeps making me want to hate it. It tries so hard to make me want to hate it.
Yeah.
It's just like it does everything it can to be like, oh, Hope, doesn't this piss you off? Doesn't this piss you
Yeah.
off? Aren't you bored? And I'm just like, yes, I am, Voltron, please stop.
The latest season. Okay, let's give some context with Voltron for anyone who doesn't know. Like, I feel like people are probably aware of Voltron.
I'm
I don't
sure.
know that everyone's aware that it's had 7 seasons.
It's,
Like,
yeah.
that they put out, like, they kept putting out 7 episodes in chunks over the course of this year, and, like, they've been doing it really fast. And then the latest
Every,
one...
like, 4 months or something like that.
Every few months they put out 7 episodes, and then the latest one they put out a whole 13 episodes all at once. So it was like a whole full season.
They
there
just
are 7
slammed it down your
technical
throat.
seasons now. There's there's probably like 70 episodes or something. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot.
Because the last time I talked to somebody about it, there was 50-some. So
Yeah.
it's gotta be now.
There's gotta be like 70 episodes of Voltron now. And it's like, starting off season 2, it was really at its peak. Like, it was really good. It was like, I really recommend this. I feel like this is up there with like mecha anime as like, this could end up being a mecha anime essential, you know? People could look
Yeah.
to this as like, this is the best. It's still,
Like-
God, the frustrating thing is that at the end of the day, it's still one of the best American cartoons ever made, you know? Because there's not a lot of competition.
I don't know that I can agree with that.
I don't know.
I
'Cause
don't.
it's like,
I really can't.
especially if you were younger, like, I think it would still be
I
amazing.
mean, if I was younger,
But
yes.
it wouldn't age with you well, you know?
I think it's it's one of those shows that you would watch as a kid and love, but you should never go back and watch it because it would disappoint you.
Yeah. And it's like, but up until this season, I still felt like it was going downhill, but it was still had its moments, and
It
it
had
was
times
it was going in a
where
weird
it
direction
was
because every
interesting.
season, like, it'll introduce
fuck.
really cool, interesting things, and then the next season, it seems like they spent some time and forgot what they were doing, and then they like meander away from stuff, and they change plot direction so that they don't really deliver on the cool ideas that they had like put forward.
Yeah.
Like they didn't really know where they were going with the plot. Like they had great ideas and then didn't know how to wrap it up, or they're getting these fucking constraints of these 7-episode arcs that they have to fill that are weird. And then this latest season starts off with like legitimately like 4 to 5 episodes of actual filler.
It's
like
intolerable.
Insufferable filler.
It's so bad.
Because they're transitioning between like from arc to arc, and they have to traverse a large amount of space, and it makes sense for them to be kind of like meandering plot wise. But the way they do it, the episodes are horrible. They're just like 4 throwaway episodes with like way too much action that's just padding everything out, and the action's poorly directed and like insufferably boring.
It is a fucking nightmare.
Yes.
Because things will be happening, but the music that's playing in the background is discordant from what you feel you should be feeling, given what you're watching.
Yes. Because the entire show has this insufferable like soundtrack where it sounds like it's being like scored in real time by someone who's just literally watching the episode and like
and has a synthesizer
and playing on a synthesizer at the same time, and they're just kind of winging it as they go, like they're just actively like composing. And there's like almost no waking fucking second of the show where there isn't composition. Like the music is
ever present, all the time,
and it's always this lulling soundtrack of like. And it just puts you to sleep, and even during comedy scenes,
numbs
it
your brain.
happens. Yeah, it numbs your brain. It's episode after episode after episode, and then boring stuff will happen, and they have this boring soundtrack, and it just really becomes insufferable. And the latest season was just like the breaking point where they have like a bunch of basically filler episodes that were really just not good at all, and really weird, and poorly written.
Yes.
And then they have a random, like... They're on this journey back to Earth, and they do all this stuff at Earth that's like really cool conceptually, but just super poorly executed and stupid.
Really, really poorly executed.
And then it's just so disappointing because like the ideas in the show are so cool and they should be so good, but the show is so poorly done and stupid, and like the dumbest plot convenient shit will happen and the dumbest action will happen that just makes no fucking sense.
Characters act in a way that is completely illogical to their particular goals and wants, and you're like, why did you do this?
There's tons of ass pulls and Deus Ex Machina. That's always been a problem in the show, but it gets so much worse. And then like plot direction that makes no sense. They have like this epic battle that was like the super big conclusion, and like they kill a big bad guy and it's super epic, and then they randomly, the battle is over, they get back to Earth, and a random new mech comes out of nowhere to fight Voltron.
Man,
and it's just this giant battle between them and this random mystery mech.
Fucking awful looking, by the way.
Yes, it's a terrible design, and they're billing it as like a, ooh, what's this mysterious new threat Voltron has to face, but it comes out of nowhere after a big battle, and there's no...
It's not hinted at all. It literally just shows up and starts fucking shit
It's
up.
super weird. It wrecks Voltron's shit, and then like there's a big
spoiler
alert. There's a big ship that like in Gurren Lagann style.
The battle cruiser that Shiro is
There's this battle cruiser that the humans had created that was a total Deus Ex Machina and was not hinted at all, and it's total bullshit, and the mechanics of it are dumb, but Shiro turns it into the fucking Daiguren fucking whatever the
it's fucking huge.
The spaceship Gurren Lagann, and it's this massive thing, and it's like this huge, obvious Gurren Lagann reference, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And it comes out of nowhere, and it's super weird. And then like but then the robot they're fighting kicks its ass anyways.
Yes.
But then Voltron comes back, and like it had just laid Voltron the fuck out and fucked it up.
It flattened Voltron.
It fucks up their giant new ass pull ship that was like something that would have been incredibly epic if it had been in the context of, like, the battle that had come before. That was a big, epic battle with a lot of narrative stakes.
Right.
A battle that, by the way, I won't get into, but it makes no fucking sense, and it's retarded. I almost want to do a fucking analytical takedown of Voltron, but all the analysis videos that I wish someone else would make, god damn it. I had a fucking facepalm for a second, Jesus. Fucking breathe, because I'm so frustrated with Voltron, because it should be one of the greatest shows ever made.
It's very frustrating.
What happens conceptually is so cool. It should be an amazing mech show, but it's so poorly written and executed that it's insufferably frustrating.
This season also had a fucking ton of queer baiting for some reason.
Oh god, yeah.
The queer baiting is
Off the chain.
unbelievably obvious. It's such a turn off. It just makes me go, no.
They're like really fan
Shiro's
art
fucking
baiting.
goofy ass robo floaty arm. Like, it's just so bad.
Oh yeah, come and fight these guys at night.
Ooh, they're big.
I journeyed to the end of the world!
Oh,
Epic quest.
it's a big boy.
Let's kill this bitch. Fuck you. He
Swinging
dies
there you
instantly because
go.
he's made of ice.
Dumbass.
Get his big old club.
You dumb fuck. You made out of ice.
But yeah, I really think Voltron is fucking tanked. I still think if you're young and haven't seen anything like that before, it's probably incredible. But it's kind of like Darling in the Franxx, where it's like it wears its influences on its sleeve, but then it's like it doesn't earn those like references. You know, it'll do like
Right.
the Gurren Lagann art and stuff at points and like have those references, and it's just like, but the scene you have crafted has no narrative stakes and sucks. Like, you're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. You're not earning this.
Exactly. Oh yeah, and
Because
then you
I guess
know,
Netflix is forcing them to crank it out as fast as possible or
I don't
something. Why do we
know
need like 26 episodes this year?
what the
you know?
production deal is with that shit.
It's so weird.
And it's just like at the end they unveil that like the random mystery mech is piloted by an Altean, and you're just like,
Yeah.
okay.
I have my theory on that. I think it's the Warlocks are all Alteans because they've all been masked the whole time, and we know that the bad guy lady is an Altean, and it's I don't know why that hasn't been obvious for a long time, but I think that's where they're going with that. But it's stupid. They think that the mysteries are the most interesting element of the show, and they forego any sort of plot structure to get there, you know? Like, the show barrels towards its conclusions
Yeah.
in an obnoxious way. They really think the Alteans are, like, the highlight of everything, and they're not.
They really think that people love the Alteans.
They just focus
That
on the
is
weirdest stuff.
Absolutely
They had
true.
really good ideas with Lotor, and he just turned into a comic book villain at the last second and was total shit. They
Yep.
ruined that. They have amazing ideas, and they just fucking shit the bed with all of them all the time.
There's like a completely unnecessary time skip that makes no sense that occurs because they're trapped in like
Yeah.
another dimension with Lotor,
And it's like, it could have been really narratively cool. It
Yeah,
can make
but
sense.
it's not.
You know, the reason why that happened makes sense. But what they did with it sucked.
Yes.
And the way they revealed it sucked. And it was just so that the human planet could have the bad guys take over so that they could have that plot device, you know? Everything happens for the sake of getting the narrative to where it needs to be and not, like, earning that narrative, you know? If that makes sense.
Right. They just want to. I feel like they have a lot of ideas that they
Yeah.
think are really cool,
But
but
they
they
don't know
don't
how
want to
to get
bother
there.
setting it. Like,
Yeah.
they don't have the skill to set it up. They just want to show you the cool ideas.
Yeah.
It's like when you're 12 and you're writing a story.
Exactly.
And you have cool ideas, but you don't know how to get there. So you literally just, like, pull whatever out of your ass to try and make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like my stick figure comics.
Yeah. Just like that. Except, you know, they're adults.
Yes.
Getting paid by Netflix to make this.
Exactly. But it's just a shame because it could be an incredible show. It's so close.
I mean, it should be a shining example of how a modern adaptation of something that is old and not good can
Yeah.
take that source material, change it, and make it great.
Exactly. And it's like, you know, there's never going to be a better adaptation of this. These ideas and concepts that are really good that
Exactly.
shine through. And it's like, when are we going to get something better than this? You know, if they couldn't do it with this and it was so promising towards the beginning, is anything ever going to be able to do it? I really wish I could point to this and be like, this is the definitive shining example of what this mecha story could be, you know? This is like such a celebration of the mecha genre. So beautifully crafted, and it's not. It just isn't.
Yeah.
It's so fucking
It's really
disappointing.
not.
Ugh. What a shame. Alright, we'll end this episode after
After
beat
you
this guy, yeah.
murder this dude.
I feel like it's probably pretty long, and I gotta pee bad.
Uh-oh. Part 2. The diary sinning.
Doodaloo.
But yeah, that Voltron
Yeah.
is very frustrating.
If you guys are disappointed in Voltron, leave a comment. If you aren't disappointed, I don't know I don't understand how you're
Yeah,
how you're
I
dealing
would be
with
interested
this.
to
Like,
know
you
your
must
logic
be really
and not
fucking
being
invested in
disappointed.
these characters or something.
I think
and
the
then
only-
it's another thing where like it feels like they don't know what to do with the characters anymore during the action scenes, and everyone just kind of like
Everyone is just kind of there hanging
no one
out.
reacts to anything as their character. They react to it as the entity that is Voltron, that is a hive mind. And I guess it makes sense because they've all like they've grown enough together that they all react to things in the same way, and they've become this comprehensive team. You
Yes.
know, but
Exactly.
it just leads to nothing during battle scenes. Like nothing
Things are just
interesting is
extremely
happening.
boring. Yeah,
None of the characters
that's
are
the
getting
problem.
moments to shine. It's just kind of like stuff is happening and you're watching it. You're like, yeah, cool, whatever. This is Voltron. We're just waiting for an end now. We're just barreling towards a conclusion because nothing really interesting.
We just
can
want
happen
the sweet
anymore.
release of death.
The fight scenes aren't a structured event to showcase and have a purpose. You know, you're not going into the fight scene like the best kind of action is where like the characters have conflict going into it and the conflict is resolved through the action, or like the plot has conflict going in and the plot is resolved through the action. This is just like action that is happening, you know? I don't know.
I feel like the only people who
And there's places for final battles, but they didn't do the final battle right, you know?
who still really like this show are probably the hardcore Tumblr audience, and
Perhaps.
that's
Yeah.
really
The
about
people who are
it.
invested just for the sake of being invested. I can understand people why you would still enjoy it, you know? If you're not coming at it really critically, and if you're not disappointed that it's not a masterpiece, like I can understand why you would still enjoy it. If you really like the action, you know,
Which
I can't get into just senseless action, especially when they have really dumb mechanics.
yeah.
Like there's just points where you're like, I know that you guys could handle this situation in a better way, and you're not, and it doesn't make any fucking sense why you're doing it this way. Anyways, yeah, I gotta pee.
All right.
This episode's over. Voltron. It's so. I wish I could
Defenders
recommend it.
of
You know,
the Juniverse.
I wish I could recommend it. It was a great show while it lasted.
Rip Voltron.
See ya.